This awesome Garmin device is completely illegal in countries like India, Thailand, and China. And these harmless-looking contact lenses will apparently give you such an edge that regulators are already lining up to shut them down. From something techies call rubber duckies to the kit that lets you play games for free, these devices carry fines, bans, and even jail time, and people still can't resist them. I'm Mike with List 25, and these are 25 illegal devices you have to own, even if you shouldn't. 25. Garmin watches and Inreach devices. Are you into fitness? And no, I mean real fitness, not that fitness pizza in my mouth meme that everyone loves. Garmin watches have become the gold standard for running or hiking gear. I mean, they can map remote trails, track your heart rate, and get weather alerts. Even divers love them because their dive watches can show you exactly where you entered the water, where you moved along reefs while diving, and where you got out. But some countries actually ban Garmin products exactly because of that. If you're using a Garmin like the Forerunner, you'll be fine since they rely on standard GPS. But once you connect to a satellite communicator or carry a model with built-in satellite messaging, you could face serious problems in countries like India, Thailand, Vietnam, China, or Georgia. India, for example, detained a Scottish hiker called Hiker Heather at Delhi Airport for bringing in Inreach, and a Czech cyclist had customs confiscate his Edge 540 in Goa under the Wireless Telegraphy Act. Customs won't let it slide, so check those settings before you pack. 24. The Flipper Zero. But while a Garmin might skate by in the gray area device for most of us, the name Tamagotchi for hackers probably says it all. The Flipper Zero even comes with a little cyber dolphin as a virtual pet, though it does far more than waiting for food and naps. This tiny gadget can scan and copy RFID badges, jam signals, pop open garage doors, and spoof infrared controls just like the stuff you'd see in Hollywood blockbusters. That kind of power is hard to resist, which is exactly why it keeps getting into trouble. In 2023, Brazil seized entire shipments and labeled it a crime tool, while major online shops including Amazon and eBay pulled it from their listings. It's fun to experiment with, but using it to break the rules could land you in real legal trouble. 23. IMSI Catchers. Someone out there could set up a fake cell tower and listen to your private calls without you ever knowing. IMSI Catchers, also known as stingrays, pretend to be real cell towers, forcing every phone nearby to connect so they can steal calls, texts, and even your location. With it, you'd basically have the power to track anyone, anywhere. No password needed. It might be the ultimate power trip, but it's also completely illegal. Using one means breaking wiretap laws, messing with licensed radio frequencies, and possibly getting slapped with 20 years behind bars for intercepting protected communications. Even marketing or selling an IMSI catcher can get you charged here in the US under anti-surveillance laws. 22. Hardware keyloggers and spyware USBs. If you're the snooping office manager type, this one will feel like a dream. You could record every single thing someone types, passwords, secrets, all of it, with a sneaky little device tucked into their computer. A hardware keylogger is a tiny USB or microchip that captures every keystroke. Having one is like building a digital diary of someone's private life without them ever catching on. They're tempting, even if no one wants to admit it. Parents or bosses sometimes claim legitimate reasons to monitor someone, but the second you plug one in without consent, you're crossing a serious line. US law calls it wiretapping or illegal computer access, with penalties hitting 5 years in prison. Even spying on a family member can land you in court. So, just know you're risking a criminal record. 21. Disguised stun guns. Looks like a phone, acts like a phone, but hits like a police-grade taser. Disguised stun guns are self-defense gone undercover, hiding up to 650,000 volts inside things like a phone case, lipstick tube, or even a flashlight. It is clever. You can protect yourself without flashing a weapon around, which feels safer, and probably smarter, if you're worried about getting mugged. But in many places, even a regular stun gun is banned, and disguising one only makes it riskier. Some states still treat them as hidden weapons. Airport screeners can freak out if they spot one, and police have to guess whether you're pulling out a harmless object or something that can drop a grown adult. They're slick, and they're built for one purpose: giving you an edge when it counts. But rules are rules. 20. Emission defeat device tuners. If you've ever dreamed of a truck that roars like a freight train and blows out smoke thick enough to block the sun, a Diesel Elite kit should be on your Christmas list. These ingenious little boxes and software tweaks promise to crank your horsepower by shutting off everything that holds it back, letting you strip out filters and sensors meant to keep emissions clean. People claim it makes their engines run smoother, stronger, and a whole lot meaner. They're usually sold with a wink as off-road only, but plenty of drivers sneak them onto city streets anyway, just to feel that rebellious rush. For gearheads, that outlaw growl is as close to freedom as they can get, but the power is simply too good to pass up. 19. License plate hiders and flippers. You'd think a license plate flipper only exists on movie sets, but some people are driving around with them right now. At the push of a button, your license plate either flips around to show a fake number or disappears completely. Speed cameras, toll booths, no problem. Your car turns into a ghost on the highway. So it's no wonder police absolutely despise these things. Every state in the US has laws against covering or swapping out your plates, with places like Texas, Washington, and Tennessee going even harder, banning the devices outright. In Tennessee, you could end up behind bars for just owning one, never mind selling or installing it. Philadelphia has cracked down too. There's no denying the engineering is impressive, but they've turned into a target just about everywhere. 18. Fake police gear. There's a whole black market for people who want to look and act like cops, minus the actual badge and training, of course. You can pick up fake uniforms, badges, red and blue light bars, and even sirens if you look hard enough. Some people buy them to cut through traffic. Others need them for, bachelorette shows. But US law doesn't find it funny. And if you're caught impersonating an officer, you'll be charged with a felony or high misdemeanor almost everywhere. Texas bans red or blue lights on private vehicles completely. Even carrying a fake badge can land you in court. One complaint from the wrong person, and you're cooked. 17. Tactical pens. You can call it a pen if you want, but it packs a bit more punch than the average ballpoint. Tactical pens are built with aerospace-grade aluminum bodies and tungsten steel tips, so they have enough strength to shatter a car window or even fend off an attacker. They look innocent enough for school, travel, or work, but they're designed with threads for grip and pointed heads for impact. Some models will even collect DNA if you hit someone, and I can see why. But I also have to wonder, why? They still do your grocery list, but good luck explaining to the TSA why your pen has something that looks like a steel spike. For legal purposes, this is not a tactical pen. This is called the Mesmo pen. So, it's just a visual aid. This is not a legal pen. I promise. 16. USB killer sticks. Teenagers can only dream of it. IT guys fear it. And the FBI will come knocking on your door if you use it. USB killers look just like regular thumb drives, but they're wired to unleash a high voltage surge the moment they're connected, frying motherboards, ports, and sometimes even the power supply while they're at it in one glorious zap. Depending on your age and life experience, you might see it as the ultimate payback tool for a rude teacher or that horrid office rival. But legally, it's sabotage. In 2019, a college student damaged 66 school computers with one, causing almost $58,000 in damage and landing federal charges. The parts are easy enough to find online, but it's best not to go from window shopping to actual zapping. 15. The USB rubber ducky. Since I'm on the subject of dodgy USB-looking devices, the rubber ducky has become a magnet for anyone that's curious about hacking tools. And yes, I know it's the second time I'm touching hackers today, phrasing, but it's a techie thing. At first, it looks like any old plain thumb drive. Once it's plugged in, though, it sends commands that can break into a computer almost instantly. Security testers swear by it because it shows how vulnerable their machines or networks really are. Still, the moment you even think about testing it on someone else's device without their permission, you're heading straight for legal trouble. 14. Pirate radio transmitters. Sharing end-of-the-world rants over the airwaves, a la Woody Harrelson in 2012, is one thing, but the FCC views what they call pirate radio very differently. You might feel like you're just promoting free speech, but the law sees unlicensed radio as a broadcast crime. If you push more power than the FCC allows, or worse, hijack a frequency altogether, you're setting yourself up for fines that'll most definitely get rid of your savings. Under the Pirate Act, illegal broadcasters have been hit with penalties of up to $2 million. The agency treats any radio rebels like outlaws, and they aren't shy about seizing gear or hitting them with enforcement letters either. 13. GPS jammers. Have you heard of GPS jammers? They're devices that'll make your vehicle disappear, but they've also been known to disable half a city's signals in the process. The most common GPS jammers plug right into your car's cigarette lighter and shut down any form of tracking, be it from your employer, spouse, or a fleet manager. The problem is, they don't just block your GPS. They can scramble the signals of everything around you, too. One trucker in New Jersey actually managed to knock out Newark Airport's landing system just by driving past with his jammer on, earning a $32,000 fine from the FCC. Another driver pulled a similar stunt on the turnpike and sparked a 2-year federal hunt. Decide whether you want all that on your conscience before plugging in. 12. Underwater drones. Why settle for snorkeling when you can pilot a robot camera straight from your desk chair, right? Underwater drones can give you a driver's view of the most beautiful reefs, wrecks, and sea life without you having to squeeze into a wetsuit or even get wet. In fact, some of them even come packed with lights, stabilizers, and HD cameras that'll turn you into your very own documentary crew. Sans Sir David Attenborough, of course. But while they're generally legal in public waters, a few places draw a hard line. Military harbors, protected marine reserves, and ports often ban them because they've been used for smuggling and spying. China, for example, has banned them near military bases after hobby models were spotted near sensitive naval zones. So they're mostly legal, but be 100% sure of your local laws before you let loose. 11. The vintage radioactive wristwatch. Back in the day, glowing numbers on a wristwatch was the epitome of luxury. Nobody realized that the radium inside would end up being as dangerous as we know it to be today. Before the 70s, watchmakers used radium paint to make the dials glow, since it would be quite a while before we made watch batteries. However, as the paint ages, it can flake or chip off, which makes it very easy to accidentally breathe in radioactive bits. Collectors still love these vintage watches, but in the US, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has very strict rules when it comes to selling them. Vintage radioactive wristwatch. That kind of sounds like Irish wristwatch. If you want to find go ahead, say Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. She sells seashells by the seashore. Go. Irish wristwatch. It's not that hard. 10. Console mod chips and game copiers. Every gamer's fantasy kicks off with one of these chips. Pop it in your console, and a whole new world opens up. All the old games, custom-made apps, and plenty of titles you'd never think to pay for otherwise. It feels almost unfair that it's illegal, and yet it is. In the US, selling or passing around these mod chips can get you slammed with federal charges. And big names like Nintendo don't mess around. One group, Team Executor, pushed Switch mod chips so hard that a guy named Gary Bowser, and yes, that is his real name, ended up doing more than 3 years in prison and paying millions in fines. 9. Radar and LIDAR jammers. If you see a speed limit as a suggestion, well, you probably already own one of these. Radar and LIDAR jammers promise to scramble police speed guns with radio pulses or infrared bursts, leaving the officer staring at a blank screen or a fake speed reading. It is a dream come true for lead-foot drivers. However, here in the US, radar jammers are banned and can come with 5 years in prison and up to a $50,000 fine. And I think it's time someone said something because most people don't even ask the question, but you should know that the police can usually tell you're jamming them because their gun shows interference, so you're basically holding a neon sign saying, "Pull me over." Use it, don't use it. But you've been warned. 8. Tailgater alert systems. There's a time in everyone's life when a brake light just isn't enough. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially if you don't move over on the freeway fast enough or you actually stick to the speed limit in a school zone. Trust me, it happens to all of us. So much so that someone saw a business opportunity and created tailgater alert systems. They flash bright warning lights or blast ultrasonic noise at the driver behind you, basically telling them to back off now. A bit of petty revenge definitely feels in order every now and then. But sadly, in Germany, aiming high-frequency noise at other drivers is banned under their traffic code. In California, flashing rear hazard lights outside a true emergency breaks vehicle code 25250. The UK and Australia have rules against anything that might dazzle or distract other drivers, and in most US states, you could still face harassment or unsafe equipment violations, even if there's no law spelling it out by name. So while the idea of giving tailgaters a taste of their own medicine feels satisfying, you might end up being the one paying for it. 7. The Mojo lens. The future is knocking. I don't have any wood around me. And it wants to stick a tiny microdisplay on your eye. Why does that sound so painful? The Mojo lens is basically a smart contact lens with a tiny display and sensors built in, showing you information right on your eye. No glancing at a phone required. Think directions, fitness stats, or even messages floating in front of you while you go about your day. Really reminds me of the opening of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Right now, it's still in testing, and you can't buy one over the counter just yet. However, the FDA has already made Mojo Vision go through medical device approval, and eventually, there will be rules covering privacy, wiretap laws, and health safety. Recording people without their consent or messing with your own eyesight could come with serious legal headaches, and probably physical ones as well. For now, it's one of these days devices that sounds awesome, but it'll have a mountain of red tape to clear before you ever pop one in. 6. Night goggles / night vision. Okay, now I know every male watching this wanted these growing up. I mean, heck, some of the ladies probably did too. Night vision goggles can take the tiniest bit of light and crank it up so you can walk around in the dark. That's it. That's what it does. And if you're a hunter, hiker, camper, or child on your way to the fridge at midnight, you'll get the hype. For most civilians, owning night vision is totally fine. But there's a catch. In countries like Russia and China, high-end Gen 3 or Gen 4 military-grade goggles are banned. And in the US, you can't export them without a special government license, thanks to ITAR rules. A guy in Oklahoma learned that the hard way in 2020 when he shipped Gen 3 units to China and ended up with a 5-year prison sentence. They're an amazing hobby tool if you use them responsibly, but don't get sloppy with the rules. Do they still do them at Animal Kingdom Lodge? You used to get them at night if you did the night safari. That was cool. They might still. I think you used to get them in your rooms, actually, and now they're only the night safari. 5. Smokescreen generators. Your inner DJ might crave a smoke-filled stage at home, but maybe think twice before firing up one of these. Smokescreen generators can pump out a thick fog that's perfectly legal for certified security systems in places like jewelry stores or warehouses. That dense mist can confuse intruders and stop a robbery in seconds. But once you move these machines into public spaces, the legalities change. Under the U.S. Clean Air Act and state nuisance laws like California's Health and Safety Code 41700, you can't release smoke that risks public health or road safety. Fire codes are another headache since thick fog can trigger alarms or cause panic. Bottom line, these gadgets are cool, but only in the right setting. 4. Contact microphones. Isn't it funny that the same gadget that saves your water bill can also ruin your secrets? Contact microphones were originally built to find hidden pipe leaks by picking up vibrations in walls and floors, letting plumbers pinpoint water problems without ripping everything apart. But it didn't take long for the more innovative minds to see the potential. The same sensor can pick up voices through solid walls, in essence, turning any private conversation into an open broadcast for whoever's listening. Now, Janelle at the office might love to know what your boss is saying to you behind closed doors, but in the US, Using one without consent smashes right into wiretap laws. While in Europe, strict privacy rules keep them locked down for official or licensed uses only. 3. Traffic light changers. Do you remember that scene in Fast and Furious 6 where they flip the traffic lights to help the crew tear through the city without being caught? Well, you can actually buy a device that does exactly that. They're called mobile infrared transmitters, or MIRTs. These little gadgets copy the flashing codes that emergency vehicles use to control traffic lights, essentially giving you your own personal fast lane on demand. Is it a handy tool on a Friday afternoon if you find yourself in peak hour traffic? Definitely. But they were banned back in 2005, making it a federal crime to own, sell, or use one without permission. 2. Wireless baby monitors with audio recording. This little nursery cam can protect your kid, or get you charged with wiretapping, depending on what it hears. Baby monitors today can do just about everything, from letting you know if it doesn't detect movement, to recording high-quality video, and even streaming conversations over 2.4 gigahertz without encryption. Parents love them, and you'll struggle to find a house with a newborn that doesn't have one. But here's the rub. In the US, states like California and Massachusetts have strict two-party consent laws, meaning if you record someone in your home without telling them, even a babysitter or house guest, you could be charged with illegal recording. In 2018, one California family landed in hot water after their babysitter reported them to police for recording her conversations through a monitor. It's definitely a must-have, but it can turn illegal fast if you use it for anything beyond baby noises. 1. Dash cams. Finally, let's talk about dash cams. What, are you surprised they're on here? They've captured everything from traffic accidents to road rage meltdowns, making them a lifesaver for proving what really happened. Insurance companies love them, and many drivers now insist on having one. Unfortunately, much like with contact microphones or baby cams, it's easy to record something you shouldn't. For example, in a lot of US states, you can't legally record in-car conversations without everyone knowing. And across Europe, privacy laws are stricter. Austria has basically banned dash cams if they systematically record public streets, treating them as unregistered surveillance. In Germany, you can still use dash cam footage as evidence in court, but running your camera non-stop is seen as a privacy violation. Courts only accept short, incident-based clips, not hours of rolling footage. As with most things on this list, it's better to be safe than sorry. It might be something most of us use, but try to be smart about it. And that's a wrap. Feeling tempted? Tell me why in the comments below. I really want to hear this. But hold up, before you go, let's do our quick quiz. Where is underwater drone use usually illegal? Is it A, open ocean shipping lanes, B, near military sites or ports, C, near city harbors and canals, or D, private backyard pools? Drop your answer in the comments below. And yeah, it's probably not D. Just saying. And if you're still in the mood for more, check out our related video, 25 Uncommon Facts about very common products. You'd be amazed at how a smashed guitar ended up worth $180 million, or how Starbucks managed to waste enough water to fill a small country's swimming pools. To watch that one, just click on the link right here. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and I'll see you again next time.